What is up, guys? Welcome to Neek, which stands for Nerd slash Geek, and we are already over 4 months into 2022, which is crazy. I was gonna do this video at the end of April, so it could be 1/3 through the year, but I'm late, so it is halfway through May. But I need to do a video talking about the movies and the TV shows I've seen this year, because I've seen a lot so far, and it's been pretty stacked with the movies and shows I've seen, and there's still tons I have not seen. So yeah, we're gonna start by talking about the movies. I've seen 11 2022 movies so far, and one other thing that I didn't really know if I should include as a movie or not, because it is a documentary, but just felt weird including it, and that is the Harry Potter special that they made. I really liked it. Nice look back into this series that I really love, and it really reminded me how much I do love this Harry Potter franchise, which actually leads perfectly into my least favorite movie I've seen so far in 2022, which is Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. And yeah, I'm just done with this franchise at this point. As I said, I do love the Harry Potter franchise. And this first Fantastic Beasts, I'm I liked. I haven't gone back and rewatched it in a while, so I don't know if I'd like it less. But I remember watching in the theater, being oh yeah, I really like this, and I saw it again. I'm yeah, I still think it's pretty good. And I'm excited for what they do with this. And then the second one, I was not a fan of. I'm okay, maybe I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that this was just a one movie thing, that they can get on that track with the third one. But if the third one's bad, then I'm just gonna be done with this franchise. And I did not like the third one. Yeah, this is the only movie I've seen so far that I just did not like. But yeah, I talked about it on my Letterboxd review. Go follow me on there. I don't have time to fully get into it because there's too many movies to talk about. But I just don't care about any of these characters. It felt so stretched out. Nothing really happens in this movie. It's so weird that they, you can tell they just stretched this out to be 5 movies. This should be a 3-movie franchise, but they just stretched out to 5. In between the second and the third, there's not really much that happens in the movies. And yeah, I don't know. Not much from the story-wise, but also just not really character-wise. There's just not these characters that arcs or other things that really get me interested into them. And they do really weird things with the characters, with Queenie. The only character I do like here is Dumbledore, and I really like Jude Law as Dumbledore too. And I like Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald, but Grindelwald's kind of sidelined in this movie. And even Credence is sidelined in this movie after the big revelation at the second one. He goes after Dumbledore, fails, and then says, all right, I give up, and then doesn't really do anything else in the movie. So yeah, I just was not a fan of this movie. Coming in at number 10, I never said I was going to rank him, but I guess I am ranking him because I started with my last favorite one. But yeah, it's Sonic 2, and yeah, I was actually pretty excited for this movie because I'm a big fan of the Sonic games, and the first one kind of surprised me. I'm hey, that actually wasn't bad. It was actually alright, and I can feel if they do a second one, they can just improve on it, make it more of a Sonic movie, and get rid of some of these problems I did have with it, because I did have a lot of problems with the first one. And this one's kind of frustrating because it does make it more of a Sonic movie and have some more stuff I do like. I like having Knuckles and Tails in there, and we get the Knuckles and Sonic fights really fun, and the third act is really fun with what they do with it. But then it doesn't really stop the problem of these stupid human characters that I just absolutely hate. And I feel this one's a little bit worse because they're so separated from Sonic. There's this whole wedding plot line that you're just cutting back to from Sonic. It's not Sonic is with these other characters. It's you have Sonic and Tails doing their own thing. You're okay, I enjoy this, and then cuts back to this stupid plot line with these characters that I just do not like. I do like James Marsden though, so he kind of saves these from being totally unwatchable, but I just did not like it. And there's just some other, I don't know. I feel the potential here could have been a really great Sonic, just a great Sonic movie, but I feel I'm just held back with an okay Sonic movie. Not everything lands even with the Sonic and the Tails and like the Knuckles and like Eggman. And yeah, especially Eggman. I don't know if this is like an unpopular opinion. I do like Jim Carrey and other stuff, but I just do not like Jim Carrey in this movie. But yeah, the end credit scene is cool. Coming in at number 9 is actually another video game movie. And if you would have asked me if I would have thought I liked Sonic 2 or Uncharted more, I probably would have said Sonic 2 because I was not looking forward to this much at all, which is weird because I am a big fan of the Uncharted games. I love those games, especially 2 through 4. Like, those are some of my favorite games. But I feel like just when I saw like they announced a movie with this cast, I'm like, I don't see Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland as these characters. And the trailers I just did not like, and I was not really excited for it. And then I saw it, and I actually ended up quite enjoying it. Well, it's not like amazing or even great. I did think it was pretty good. I thought it was good, and I've just really enjoyed it. I had to look at it, not like, okay, if I'm looking at this as an Uncharted movie, not going to give me everything I want. But if I just look at it as an adventure movie, I enjoyed it. So yeah, not the definitive Uncharted movie, but a movie I did enjoy. And actually, Tom Holland kind of surprised me as Nathan Drake, because I actually ended up seeing him in the role as this younger version. I liked Mark Wahlberg in the movie, but I still did not see him as Sully. He just was a totally different character to me. But yeah, cool like adventure stuff if you like that sort of movie, and like some fun action scenes too. So yeah. Coming in at number 8 is After Yang, and this is a movie that I was really excited for, and I ended up liking it, thinking it was good, quite good, but still not. It didn't really hit me, like, I don't know. It didn't work for me as well as it does seem to work for some people, because I know some people thought it was great, and, like, they really liked it, and I'm just more on the side, like, I liked it, but it didn't fully connect with me as much, and I like some of the themes or stuff they're going for. I feel like it just sort of felt, I just sort of felt the distance between the movie. I feel like I feel like there's just like this distance to get me as emotionally attached as I wanted to. But yeah, some good performances, good cinematography, and I do like the themes they're trying. So overall I did think it was really good. Coming in at number 7 is The Adam Project, and this is a movie that I like probably a little bit less than when I first saw it, but I still do really like it. I feel like it just has good humor. I really like Ryan Reynolds in here, and I especially like the person who plays the young Ryan Reynolds, or the young of his character. I'm really excited to see him as Percy Jackson. I thought he actually stole the show and was the best performance in the movie. And I feel like even though, like, I was actually surprised that not only, like, the comedy, that sort of stuff worked, that the emotional stuff actually worked quite well. And, like, the story it was actually quite emotional, so I really like that part. I do feel like the more, like, action stuff and, like, that sort of, the more action stuff into the sci-fi plot didn't work quite as well. And, I feel like I liked it less as more, like, action movie and more it's just, like, more heartwarming comedy. Yeah. So, yeah, after I filmed the stuff talking about the movies, I actually ended up seeing one more 2022 movie, and that was Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. And I think this is where I'm going to pit it. It's pretty close with After Yang and The Adam Project. Actually, I think I would switch where I originally put The Adam Project and After Yang. I think I'd switch them. But yeah, these two are pretty close, but I think this goes on top. And yeah, this was a pretty big surprise. Now, I was kind of looking forward to it when they said that it was going to be John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, but I didn't really think too much about it. And then when it came out, lots of people were saying, oh, this is actually really good. And I watched them like, oh yeah, this actually is really good. I think it knows exactly, there's lots of other movies that tend to do similar things that sort of failed, and this sort of knew how to do it right. With the way they did all these cameos, they actually do enhance the story and enhance sort of the themes they're like telling with the story, and kind of can be like an interesting look in lots of ways into like sort of Hollywood and Disney in that sort of way, which is pretty interesting. That sort of like honestly kind of a bit of a criticism in some ways to Disney. It's made by Disney, but I guess they got away with it because they still got to do all the Disney stuff. Like, they still got to do all the cameos and that sort of stuff, and those are all really fun. And then, but yeah, I really like how they handle it. It's really funny. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney are great, and I like what they did with the characters. I think the relationship was very good. Sort of, you really saw both sides of like why they sort of had that falling out, and then the resolution was handled really well. Yeah, this is a really solid movie. I love Pixar, and while I don't think Turning Red is one of their best outings, I still thought it was really good. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I feel like its themes worked. Great animation, obviously, because, it's Pixar, and I just enjoyed the whole movie. So, coming in at number 5 is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and man, this was a lot of fun. I just saw this today as when I'm filming this, so I haven't fully processed it, but I feel like at this point I know I can pit it here because, yeah, this movie is great. Nicolas Cage is great in it, and I love his chemistry with Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is so hilarious, and I just loved them together. Those scenes were just so great. And it's just really interesting concept for a movie. I just love that a movie like this exists. It's super creative and like that sort of thing. And I love how it just like really works if you love like films and like that sort of thing. I think you might like get even more out of it, which is sort of how they treat it and stuff. Coming in at number 4 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it was not exactly what I was expecting, but I still really enjoyed this movie. It's not quite the big like game-changing MCU movie, the biggest scale one that some might expect from just like what they sort of seemed, but I don't really think that's a bad thing, because this movie is just a blast with awesome visuals, good action, humor that mostly lands in a lot of style from Sam Raimi. And like, I would say Sam Raimi overall was a really big positive for this movie. But I guess a couple of his choices didn't completely land for me, but I'm glad that they got him to do this movie. And of all the Marvel projects he could do, a Doctor Strange movie is like the perfect fit for him. And like just even adding that horror elements was really fun. I'm a big fan of the character of Doctor Strange, and once again, I really like him in this. Benedict Cumberbatch nails the character. He's just one of my favorite actors. I was just thinking about that. Yeah, but I really like what they do with Wanda too. She gets a really big role, and she has like a very big presence in the movie. And I don't want to spoil it, but overall, I do like sort of the direction they take her. And Elizabeth Olsen kills it once again. She's so good in this character, and just a great actress. I like American Chavez. I don't know if her big like end moment hit quite as much as it could have, but overall, I liked her. Has a cool power. I'm excited to see her again. Christine actually surprised me though, with how much I did like her character and liked what they did with her relationship with Steven, because Christine in the first movie is just sort of like bland love interest character, but I like the different direction they take with her character, as sort of her and Steven don't end up getting together. Steven doesn't just get the girl like you're expecting in these type of movies. Christine gets married to someone else, and it's interesting to see sort of both of them sort of grapple with it. And even though they did both love each other, just sort of realizing it won't work and how that affects Steven, but also sort of how it affects her. So that was really good. Oh yeah, and Wong is cool, obviously, because he's Wong. Of course he's going to be cool. And I'm glad he actually has a lot of screen time in this, or at least the most he's had in any movie he's been in, because Wong showed up a lot in the MCU, but mostly it's just in like these smaller roles. He just shows up, he's Wong, and then he sort of leaves, but we get a lot of Wong here. Coming in at number 3 is Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and this was a fun experience at theaters. First time getting to watch an anime movie in theaters, and I'm a big fan of the Jujutsu Kaisen show, and I feel like this sort of delivers that same sort of stuff. So if you like the Jujutsu Kaisen show, you will like this. Amazing animation, awesome action scenes. I like Yuta as this new as this new character, and I'm excited to see him in the show. And I like the sort of connection with it. It's got the idea of curses is really interesting. I think you can sort of explore it, and we get to see my man Gojo on the big screen. So how can I complain? Yeah, I love this movie. Coming in at number 2, and this is very close because I already have 2 5-star movies. That shows this is a great year so far because I have 2 5-star movies, and it's not even halfway through the year. That's pretty good, especially because normally the second half of the year is a lot more stacked. But coming in at number 2 is Everything Everywhere All at Once, because yeah, this movie is freaking incredible. It delivers on so many levels. You want a super creative movie that's super weird and fresh? Well, you get that. You want an awesome action movie? You get that. You want some sci-fi sort of more movie? You get that with an awesome multiverse movie. You want comedy? You get that. There's a lot of amazing comedy. You want a deep emotional movie with characters you get invested in and see their struggles and stuff? Well, you also get that, because this movie can make you laugh. It can also make you cry. It will make you jump with joy. It really is that sort of everything everywhere all at once. I don't know how it works so well, like how they're able to pull off so many different things, but somehow this movie does. And I'm just so glad it exists, and I'm glad that so many people are enjoying it. And it's so fun to have this being like the movie that like pretty much everyone in the film community is going crazy over for. I'm glad, like, because there's lots of divide within the film community, but I love when there's just that one movie where just like, yeah, this movie rocks. And yeah, also like just seeing at the box office of like how it's been like a success, even though it didn't open that strong, just each week it's had very little drop, like insanely low drops, even going up some weeks. So it's crazy to see the word of mouth as it spreads, and like it's doing really strong, especially for its budget. So it's going to make money, and especially movies in the theaters have been sort of, you know, since the pandemic, smaller movies at theaters have not been doing as well. So it's nice to see a movie like this succeed. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Michelle Yeoh and Ke Huy Quan, I think that's how you pronounce it. They kill it. Their performances are both amazing. But yeah, coming in at number 1, as much as I loved Everything Everywhere All at Once, for me, you can't beat the Batman. As a giant Batman fan, we got into just an amazing movie and just delivered on everything I wanted. I already reviewed this movie, but yeah, I think I can confidently say this is a top 3 comic book movie with me. My other 2 are Into the Spider-Verse and The Dark Knight. I wonder if anything else will top it, or this will be my number 1 at the end of the year. So yeah, let's talk about shows, and because this video is already kind of long, I'm not going to talk about all the 2022 V shows I've seen. There's really 4 that I'm going to focus on, and then I'll mention the other ones I have seen. So yeah, first I want to talk about Severance, and this show was just amazing, and I definitely would recommend if you haven't seen it. The concept is like super creative, and they just explore it so well. It's able to build all this tension and uneasiness on the inside of the job, and then on the outside, we get to see a super interesting mystery. I really like both the Annie and Audi for our main character Mark, and they do a really good job building his character both ways, and I found him just as interesting, like no matter which version we're looking at. And then Adam Scott also does a really good job, and I think the whole cast does a good job, and I like all the other characters here. Of like the other crew, my favorite would probably be Helly. I just really like her, and I do like the sort of what they reveal of who she is and stuff. I thought they handled that really well. But yeah, once we get to these final 3 episodes, it just takes it to the next level, like especially the last episode, which just had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was jumping, not even on the edge of my seat, jumping up and down on my seat, focused in on the show as all these different things come in. Everything is handled so well, the way they built it up all the seasons, that make me go, oh, and then it ends and I just screamed at my TV. So yeah, super well directed, super well written show, and one I would recommend to like lots of people. I think most people would find this show really interesting. Yeah, now I gotta talk about the 2 anime series I have seen so far, and that would be first I'll talk about the Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc. And for the whole show, Demon Slayer as a whole, I do really like the show. But I never was quite as big of a fan as it seems some people are as Demon Slayer. But this season might be the best of Demon Slayer stuff we've gotten so far, and is really pushing me on to see where all the hype is coming from. It starts off with a good epilogue to Mugen Train, and then at the end of the first episode, we head out into the entertainment district, and with our new Hashira, Tengen, who I did really like, and they do slow down for these episodes, and Demon Slayer is the type of show that I just haven't really liked as much when it does slow down, because it's very much more focused on the fights and that's sort of the big epicness. The action-centric episodes are the main focus. Not saying the other stuff is bad, that's just what Demon Slayer is really focusing on. So sometimes these episodes where there's no action and stuff can kind of be kind of boring, but I feel like these ones sort of avoided it because they're really building up the tension, and their entertainment district is kind of interesting. So obviously not my favorite episodes this season, but I feel like they work better than some of the other non-action centric episodes. But once we get into the action, we get to see what Demon Slayer does best, and that is create these awesome action scenes. And we get 5 episodes of action, or maybe it's 4, but anyway, lots of just this epic battle, and the animation is literally insane, incredibly good. I love how they do all these different battle scenes. It's the type of anime action that I like done right. And then especially as we get to that second to last episode, episode 10, it just takes things to the next level. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this Demon Slayer arc. And then we got to talk about Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2, which is my favorite TV thing I've seen so far this year. So yeah, Attack on Titan is easily one of my all-time favorite shows. I'm going to have to wait until it ends to say if it is number 1. But I do think when it ends, if they nail it, that it could possibly be my all-time favorite show. We'll see. I first started watching this show late last year. And this is my first watch through. And I was just blown away by it. And each season somehow just kept getting better. Well, maybe, I don't know, between season 3 and 4, because both are just amazing. But yeah, this second part of the final season is no exception, as it's just banger after banger after banger episode, and just so much. I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's it starts off with this super intense action scene, and all the characters are just so well done, and they're all on these different sides, and you feel for all of them. You're just and then you get these episodes where there's no action, but it's just focus in on the certain characters, and then the way they're back and forth, and then mind-blowing reveals and twists that somehow were set up all the way back from the first episode, but you had no idea were coming, and then it changes everything, and you can feel it's getting to the showdown. You got amazing action scenes thrown in there too, awesome animation, all the character stuff works, and it's just so epic and awesome. Yeah, that's basically as much as I can go without getting into spoilers. If I was getting into spoilers, I would be a lot more in detail, and I'm definitely planning on doing an Attack on Titan video where I just dive into it, because there's just so much I could just dive into. I could talk about that show for hours and hours and hours, and maybe I will on the channel someday. Then we got Moon Knight, and of the MCU shows that are coming this year, this was my most anticipated. I was really looking forward to it, and yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I don't feel like there's that much to say about it. I do hope there is a season 2. There's not one confirmed. But I feel like the show has a lot of potential. And it hasn't quite reached it yet. But if it does, it could be top tier MCU. For now, it's I really enjoy it. But I really enjoy most of the MCU. So it's on the lower half. Not bottom 5 or any of that. Because I do really like it. It's really good. But on the lower half of the 30, One giant positive to the show is Oscar Isaac. He delivers one of the best performances in the MCU. I love him as Steven and Mark. Ethan Hawke as Caro is also really good, and makes Caro's also a pretty interesting villain. Probably the best we've seen out of these MCU Disney Plus series, I'd say. I really enjoyed the show the whole time, but like it never truly gripped me. That was until the end of episode 4. When the end of episode 4 is like, oh, I'm actually super excited for next week. Not like I'm gonna watch it because like I'm really enjoying the show. Like, oh, like it needs to be next Wednesday because I need to find this out. And then they delivered with episode 5, which is my favorite episode of the show easily, and possibly just my favorite episode of any of the Marvel Disney Plus series. I thought it was so well done. Oscar Isaac's best, like, he's amazing in all of it, but this is where he shined the most. The emotional stuff all worked and all the sort of like story stuff. So I love that episode. And then, final episodes of these MCU shows are all pretty divisive. And yeah, this one wasn't massively, like, doesn't massively hurt the rest of the show like I thought like the Falcon and Winter Soldiers one did. But it didn't like deliver a great ending either. Either was like, I was like, okay, that was good. I liked it. It closed out the season. But is it one of the weaker episodes? Yeah. Probably about like the same level of like Hawkeye's finale. I don't know exactly how to rank them because it's like Falcon and Winter Soldier at the bottom. And then like WandaVision, a lot of stuff I didn't really like, so I don't fully know how to do that. Loki, really liked, but not really much of a finale because it's really setting up for season 2 and just leaves on a cliffhanger and stuff. And then there's like the Moon Knight and the Hawkeye, which is just like, I liked you, but I don't know. When it ends, I don't feel as much as I do for most season finales of shows, because most of the time season finales of shows are like one of the stronger episodes, I feel like, or at least in most shows I really like overall. So yeah, what are the other TV shows I've seen? There's still plenty of shows that I need to catch up on. TV, I am a lot more behind on stuff I need to watch than movies, but the other shows I saw Book of Boba Fett, which I love The Mandalorian. It's one of my favorite shows, and this was just not it for me. I loved the 2 episodes that were Mando episodes basically, but besides that I just wasn't really a fan. Cuphead was pretty good. Heartstopper was really good. That show was pretty amazing. And then the new Wonder Years reboot, I watched that with my family because my dad and mom's like favorite shows, The Wonder Years, and I really enjoyed that show, so we got to watch this new one. And yeah, that's really good. Not many people have seen it, but I would recommend it because it's really good. Oh yeah, and then I saw like most of Space Force, and then I didn't watch the last 2 episodes. I don't know. I just feel like I have better stuff to watch. Not like bad or anything, just, yeah, I don't know if it was really worth my time. So yeah, that is the movies and the TV seasons I've seen so far this year, and it's about to get bigger because hopefully I got this video out the day before that Top Gun Maverick, Stranger Things 4, and Obi-Wan all come out the same day. That was my goal, and if I didn't get it, then oh well, then there's even more movies and shows I've seen. But yeah, this looks like a really promising year for both movies and shows, and there's more I have to catch up on and a lot more I'm looking excited for. So yeah, comment down below, what are your favorite movies and shows so far in 2022? Please like and subscribe and keep watching Neek.